Hey, friends, welcome to a special Dirty Air. And this special Dirty Air is actually channeling out in several different locations. First of all, on the South Texas Race Ranch page, and as well as on Race on Texas. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Rodney Rodriguez, and in the friendly confines of my home office, the much chronicled end of week discussion there. Not able to be at the race ranch this weekend just due to some, stuff happens, man. Crud and all of that. But anyway, I'll be back soon, and I'm definitely missing being there last night and today, as it is main event night at the South Texas Shootout at South Texas Race Ranch. And before I dive into the full schedule, I'll give you a schedule, kind of what I'll do here in this pre-race, because I think we're probably going to be about 30 minutes out from the time that we're going to get cars packed on the track. And I'll just kind of give you an overview. Again, this is just a lot of it secondhand information because obviously I have not been there. So I will get you filled in on stuff. But this pre-race show presented by my partners at Rogers Dabbs GM Performance. And breaking news today, as a matter of fact, along the dirt track racing circles for us with GM Performance and Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet, we are now the official provider for the All-Star Crate Late Model or Crate Racing USA Tour, exclusive sponsors of that series. So hopefully I'm going to be doing some work to try to get some tracks set up here in Texas to where we can have some events coming up possibly here in 2024. So that's something on the bucket list as well. That's going to be on the whiteboard back there. You guys are actually getting to see where you usually see me in the studio. This is actually where I do my brainstorming, is in this room right here. So definitely a different part of the house that you usually see me in. And of course, on-demand shirts. You had the on-demand shirts pit party happening on Thursday night at the South Texas Race Ranch, and that looked like a great success that was going on there at the race ranch. And again, a big thanks to James Cole. They are, of course, partners of mine. And of course, even with the Revved Up show as well. And looky here, I mean, they can set you up with cool stuff like that right there. That is on-demand shirts. But before we dive in and before I give you the detailed schedule for what's going to be going on here a little bit later on this afternoon, let's take a look at what we are dealing with. It is the South Texas Shootout happening at South Texas Race Ranch. $191 cars in the pits last night, and I'll get an update here as I get towards the end of this pre-race show as to where we're looking right now as we get ready to go into the event tonight. And of course, a reminder, if you can't get to the race ranch, you can catch every lap live on Race on Texas with all access. It's raceontexas.com. So taking a look at what the schedule looks like today. So coming up, as I said, in about, I'd say in approximately 30 minutes from the time that this starts, you'll have your, excuse me, all cars are going to be on the track to pack the track. And of course, the schedule is very approximate. I mean, you're going to have, I know last night from what I saw on the broadcast, you did have the track was kind of fluffed up a little bit, and you had the track being worked in and different stuff. So that's something that's going to be happening there. So you always have to factor that in as well. I know here in Round Rock where I'm at, it's gotten cool. It's gotten cool here in the last couple of hours. And I did see on some forecasts down at the coast, and you guys feel free to chime in right here as the live feed's going here on the different channels as to what the wind gusts may be looking like there in the Corpus Christi area, because I saw that we were supposed to be looking at some pretty heavy wind gusts down there from 17 to 25 miles an hour. So I don't know if that's exactly true or not, because for once I have no freaking clue what's going on, because man, I'm not there, and it's weird as shit doing this, not actually being on site right there. Cars packing the track. Hot laps are going to be at 5:30. It's an early start. I know last night was a little bit later of a show, of course, later of a show, and you have 191 cars, and you're doing 2 sets of heat races in classes that are just jam-packed with machines. It's going to turn into a late night, and every class seems to be pretty healthy. And of course, you had the late models last night as well that had a feature race and so forth. Late models, I think, were 21, 22 strong. So at 6 o'clock, that's when you'll have your prelims and your qualifying. Factory stocks, limited modifieds. The late models will qualify once again, just as they did last night. Approximately 7 o'clock will be your opening ceremonies. IMCA modified heat races, the big mods, a part of the show tonight at the ranch. So then you have your mini mod heat races followed by your late model heat races. So another set of heat races for your late models tonight. Your E-mod main event, your pure stock A main, your mini mod A main, factory stock A main, modified A main, late model A main, and limited A main. And the thing about it is, when we're talking about preliminary races and so forth, we're talking about B mains, because there are definitely going to be B mains this evening. And I'll give you here in just a little bit. I'll give you who has locked themselves in the E-mods as well as the factory stocks and the limited modifieds, because as I mentioned a little bit earlier, those classes were just juiced last night with cars. So I'm going to kind of dive in here and get you some of those numbers again from last night. And again, all of this is available at my race pass, but the one to look at last night, because you did have the late models running their main event. Stephen Whitaker Jr., Stevie Whitaker wins there over Bo Begnaud, Jared Maupin, Dean Abbey, and Chase Neal. So Bo knows late model, so somebody comes in and knocks Bo off this time. I know last year when I was down there, it was Begnaud in the 32 out of Spring that was really hard to beat. But Stephen Whitaker Jr., you get that dude in the 89 car out of Robstown, and it's going to be a tall order to be able to beat that dude. So they'll do that again tonight. They will do all of that again tonight. So that's kind of the format on what you're going to have. And again, a lot of this is going to be the times that I'm talking about right there. It's going to be a very fluctuating schedule, and that's the reason that it's starting a little bit earlier, is because the volume of cars. And taking a look right now, and I am very early. I'm very early right now, and I'll look at this towards the end here of the pre-race show. You're at 202. You're at 202 entries right now, and that's 27 AOC Auto Parts E-mods, 21 Proline Pure Stocks, 11 Top Hat Micro Mods, 62 Sames Ford Factory Stocks, guys. That's pretty damn good when it comes to South Texas. You've got 6 big mods, the damn services, IMCA modifieds. Again, this is very early. 21 late models, 54 Double J Jerky Limited Modifieds is what we're looking at right now. And again, I will get an updated number for you as we move closer towards the end here of the pre-race show. So that's a look at what we have set for now. I'll step away just for a moment, and when I come back, I'll let you know who is locked into the show, and we'll talk a little bit more about what is going on tonight. This is your South Texas Shootout, South Texas Race Ranch pre-race show. Stick around. South Texas Shootout pre-race show. South Texas Shootout happening this evening. Main event night happening at South Texas Race Range in Corpus Christi. 202 cars already in the pits as of a little bit earlier that I took a look. I will be taking a look here in just a little bit once again to see where we may be at that point. But the most important part of what was happening last night with qualifying night, you had qualifying night, single car or group qualifying you actually had on Thursday night. So that was actually something where it was a little bit of a cushion for some guys to be able to get into these races tonight, or give themselves kind of a safety net to be able to get themselves in. But last night, what you had with the dual set, or I guess the dual heat races for the classes, what you had there was the passing points is what was going to lock in the cars that are already in the field tonight. So taking a look at your E-mods. We'll start first with the AOC Auto Parts E-mods. You've got 16 drivers that are already locked into the field for the main event tonight. The rest of those drivers will have to punch their ticket and get themselves in through B mains and so forth. But at the top of the heap with passing points and very establishing himself very high there with 125.5 points is the 6-inch of Daniel Preston, followed by Caden Valenta with 120, David Sheffield with 118.50. 116 points for Parker Titzman and Zach Freeman. Those are your top 5. 6, Kyle Jackson, Mitchell Johnson, Summer Nave, 8th, Mickey Helms, Charles Flanagan, 10th. He's with 109. From 11th on down, it is my man Kenneth Canales, as I like to say. And how about Kenneth Canales? He actually is fresh off of, he's got 107.50 points, by the way, in passing points. Canales, fresh off last week running in the Pro Trucks over at the Snowball Derby in Pensacola. So Canales, who had a great year, the driver out of Orlando, Florida, had a great year there on the asphalt, comes over to dirt, and he has put himself in the field already with the passing points. Brianna Witchie, 12th. Brad Whatup's 13th. The 14th driver is Jude Allgaier, followed by Charlie York and Tim Thompson. Those are the 16 drivers that are into the A. Those 16 drivers are locked into the A main. So they are breathing a little bit easier right now when you start looking at, the various so forth and so on. Worried about getting yourself in and all the different nuances of what could happen when you start getting into last chance qualifiers and so forth. Into the factory stock. So it was loaded with factory stocks, and you've got some of the best, not just from the region. I mean, the South Texas Shootout, we've watched it. I know when I was there last year, you're really starting to see it to where you're getting, I mean, not just the best of Texas, you're getting the best from all around just the quad state region here that are making their way to the race ranch. It's a really, as I talked about it last year, is very much a year-end destination to where this is the last big race on the calendar to where drivers are really wanting to be a part of this. And it's just a tremendous job that Owen and the staff there at the race ranch do to be able to put all of this together. I mean, the dollar Dos Equis and everything, the hospitality there is great. I know that, and I'm going to tell you this once again. I talked about this on the Revved Up show on Monday, and I believe this may have been a little bit of an issue last night, but parking is an issue. There is no doubt about that when it comes to pit parking. Those pits are a little tight, and I think it's one thing tonight, especially if we are already exceeding the number of cars that were there last night, that it's only going to be more of an issue. So I think you need to pack your patience. And what I'm going to ask you well in advance, and this is totally for me, this has nothing to do with Owen Pittman or anybody there from South Texas Speedway. I'm going to ask that you show a tremendous amount of respect to the track officials that are working there trying to put all of this together, because this isn't something that you can just snap your fingers and all this shit is miraculously done. So pack those patience and acknowledge the hard work that's happening right here. So same sport factory stocks, you locked in 8. You've got 8 that are locked in. It's Ray Allen Kaholnick in the BD3, 124.50 on the passing points. Right behind him, the man from Cut and Shoot, Texas, in the 27. It is Dalton Faulkner. So Faulkner sitting right there in the second spot. Johnny Torres in the H2. currently the third car that is locked in. TJ Evans into 28C. Jared Maupin, Johnny Torres and Jared Maupin, Ray Allen. These are going to be some extremely busy guys tonight. So the sixth car that is locked in is Josh Ellender with 117.50 Maupin. That's what he has as well, 117.5. Joey Heineman from right there out of Corpus. That Heineman name is one that when you start racing in Corpus Christi, you're going to have. That's one of the names that you're going to have, along with Maupin and all the different names that are so much a part of racing in Corpus Christi. And Brandon Martin is the eighth car in with 116 in passing points. And you can just kind of go through the list here. I mean, sitting right behind them, drivers that just missed the cut right there. From there on down, it's Mike Martin, Cameron Starry, Ryan Carlucci, Dylan Gaither, Nathan Rahi, Jesse Maisel, Alan Torres, GW Hessong, Michaela Trimble with great job last night for Michaela as I was watching there on Race on Texas. John Leda, Mark Cupp, Jesse Sandoval, Gilbert Perez, Shannon Marr, Chuck Perry, Craig Oakes. The list goes on and on and on. Down at 26 spot, a little surprising there for me that not locked in there to the top 8 or a little closer is Memphis Villarreal. And of course, that's a guy that he's really good there. He's really good everywhere he goes, along with Edward Oakes. Edward Oakes sitting down there around number 28. So that's the same as Ford factory stocks with the 8 drivers that are locked in right now based off of the passing points. And then the big one tonight, $5,000 on the line for the limited modifieds, the Double J Jerky limited modifieds. And you want to talk about a good night at the office. You want to talk about a dude that has done his homework and is sitting in a pretty good catbird seat tonight going in. So you've got 8 of these, or let me take a look here, 8 of these as well in the Double J Jerky limited modifieds. Ray Allen Kaholnik again, RAK sitting there with 120.5 points. Nathan Titzman sitting second with 123. So quite the difference right there. So RAK was all over that gas pedal last night, and it shows right there, just leading in passing points in the same Ford factory stocks and the Double J Jerky limited modifieds. Chase Hatton is sitting in the third with 123. Marcus Mikulacek with 117.5. Dean Abbey fifth, 117.5. 112, it's Cody Smith sitting sixth. Trent Beaver sitting with 112, and Chris Rye at 112. So that is the 8 that are locked into the show. Everybody else will go to the alphabet soup. However, that's going to shake itself out tonight. And there's probably going to be a lot of letters in the limited modifieds. And again, I'll get those numbers here as to where we are now. Again, we were 202, and that was about 12 minutes ago when we fired this thing off. And again, track packing starts at 5 o'clock. Track packing starts at 5 o'clock. So we're about 10 minutes or so away from that, if indeed the track is able to keep all of that on schedule. But again, patience is going to be the virtue tonight with everything that's going on. From there on down, from Chris Rye, you've got Tommy Davis Jr., you got Joe Armandia, Jared Barber, Eric Sigelski is there, Brian Rye, Logan Dinsmore, Eric Luttrell, Jared Maupin, sitting 16th there, followed by Chad Fitzgerald. J.J. Jennings is 18th. There's Ryan Harris, and Johnny Torres is 20th. So you can go through the list right here. Rowdy Day down around 26th. Rolly Rodriguez is down around 30th. So this is a long list of limited modified drivers, Double J Jerky limited modified drivers that are going to have to be making their way into the show. So it's going to be a lot. It'll be interesting to see what kind of racetrack Owen and the staff are going to be able to produce for these guys. Like I talked about, with the wind that I believe is supposed to be happening over there with cooler temperatures, that's going to change a lot of that up when it comes to track prep. So that's going to be something that I'm sure is going to factor itself in, and setups are going to change. I mean, setups are definitely going to change from the time of the, B, C, or I guess going backwards, E. I can't do the alphabet backwards, but as you're going through the alphabet soup right there, I mean, the conditions are going to change that much with the amount of those mains that you're going to be having to qualify the rest of the field. Again, if you can't get to the South Texas Race Ranch tonight, you can always check in on raceontexas.com. You get your all access pass, $39.99, and that's going to get you all of the action tonight. And I know we're at the end of the season, but again, everything will fire off very soon. I mean, come January, everything is off and rolling once again. But part of that all access package right there with Race on Texas is that you get the on demand and all the access. You can go back and watch racing from, this season and seasons past as well. Go in and check out some of that great archive footage. And actually, if you go to the Race on Texas YouTube page, you can actually find some of the stuff from way back in the day when you had, you can actually go back and watch when asphalt was thriving here in Texas. You can go back and watch some of that stuff there on the YouTube page. Just step away again one more time. When I come back, we'll take a look. I'll go through that schedule one more time, tentative schedule on what is to happen here in just a little bit at the race ranch. And not only that, take an updated look at what those entry lists are looking like as we get set for night number 2, the finale of the South Texas Shootout happening at the South Texas Race Ranch. This is your Dirty Air pre-race show presented by Rogers Jabs GM Performance and On Demand Shirts. South Texas Shootout, South Texas Race Ranch, pre-race show. Rodney Rodriguez taking you up until track packing time, or anticipated track packing time, coming up at 5 o'clock. I'll go through that schedule once again here momentarily, but taking another look. Car count continues to increase. Exceeded, you were in the low 190s last night on Friday night qualifying night and late model main event night. And now as we sit here, we are now at 205. And I'm guessing that because this is a recorded program, so I'm assuming that by the time that I highly recommend if you don't have the free My Race Pass app, that you get that in your hand, get that on your smartphone. You can find it in the Apple Store, the what do they call it? iTunes. Can't think of what that thing's called. Google Play, the App Store, or on Google Play. Get that thing on your phone. You can follow all the race results as it's going on, live timing and scoring differential there. It gives you, intervals and all of that. But right now at 205 in the pits as I'm doing this right now. AOC Auto Parts E-Mods, there's 27, 21 Proline Pure Stocks, 11 Top Hat Micro Mods, 62 Sames Ford Factory Stocks, 9 Dam Services IMCA Modifieds, 21 late models, Love seeing that, man. 21 late models and 54 double J jerky limited modifieds. Again, if you missed that a little bit earlier that I was talking about, one of the presenting sponsors here of the pre-race show, which is Rogers Dabbs GM Performance, now the official engine provider and series sponsor of Racing USA. And that's a really big deal right there. We're really excited with that program, something that we've been working on quite a bit. A lot of behind the scenes stuff that's been going on there, trying to get that program put together. So just the fact that that was able to be all put together and announced at the PRA or PRI show in Indianapolis. So a huge deal right there. Crate USA Dirt Late Model Racing Series. It'll be Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet, the title sponsor right there. And of course, if you're looking for a 602 or 604, you can actually reach out to me. I'll get you a quote, and we're going to beat any price that you're going to find in the country. Again, taking a look at that schedule one more time, approximate schedule as to what's going to happen. Right about now, we should be getting ready to pack the track. And that's 5 o'clock Central, depending where you're checking it out from. 5:30 is going to be hot laps, and then at 6 o'clock, that's when the racing action starts. Again, a little bit earlier, just because of the multitude of cars that are in the pits tonight. You'll have this is when the B mains, this is when last chance races. That's where all of that's going to happen. Qualifying in this order: factory stocks and limited modifieds, followed by late model qualifying. The single car late model qualifying, just as happened last night. It'll be late models re-rack and restack and doing it all over again. 7 o'clock opening ceremonies, followed immediately by big mod heat races, IMCA modified heat races. The mini mods will run their heat races. The late models will run another set of heat races, and then you go into the A's. The E-mod A main event, followed by the pure stocks, followed by the mini mods, factory stocks, 50 laps. I believe it's 50 laps. So you've got, no, I may be wrong on that. I have to double check that, matter of fact. Followed by the modifieds, the late models, and then that $5,000 to win limited modified race. That's what's going on at the South Texas Race Ranch coming up here shortly. And again, if you're not able to get there, you can check out all the action on All Access on Race on Texas. And if you are catching this, be sure, and lots of things to do there. As I always say when I'm working there, and again, sorry guys that I am not there, would love to have been there tonight, but as I always say, don't forget, make your way down to the Turn 5 bar, and it's going to be Riptide tearing it up down there for you in the Turn 5 bar at the end of the races. You've got dollar Dos Equis, you've got good food, you've got amazing merchandise. It's going to be on sale right there, all provided by On Demand Shirts, the official merchandise provider of the South Texas Race Ranch. It is the hugest race in the year in the race capital of Texas. It's Corpus Christi. Said it many, many years, and we're seeing why once again with events like this. Record car counts in all of these divisions. The eyes of racing in Texas, if not this entire Southwest region, are in Corpus Christi at the South Texas Race Ranch. All of that happening tonight. Check the show out. If you're going to be there in person, enjoy the show, because I guarantee you it's going to be a really, really good one to see. It is the South